Hey YouTube, Dan here from EAP Films Official, and today is my first ever unboxing video. I had a parcel come through from DHL, so let's get into it. As you can see, it's well packaged, which is good. And this is the WGS Feiyu Tech 3-axis wearable gimbal for a GoPro Session. Now they do another version of this where it takes a regular GoPro, but from what I could see, it doesn't take the casing of a GoPro, just the GoPro itself, unless you specifically modified it yourself if you fancy doing a bit of DIY. Now, I'm off to Norway soon, snowboarding, and I wanted something that I knew was going to be waterproof. So my GoPro Session obviously is waterproof. I don't have to feel so scared about using a GoPro out in the snowy landscape of Norway. So that's what really sold it to me, to get the Session version of it. So here is a box. The WGS 3-axis wearable gimbal. It's also compatible with the GoPro Hero 4 Session as well, so if you've got the new GoPro or the old Session, it'll fit no problem. Okay, so the box feels very good quality. Oh, it comes in a case. So, taking the box out, it comes with a Feiyu Tech case. Nice handle here and a zip lock all the way around. Got a nice embossed Feiyu Tech logo in, I don't know whether you can see it, just in the front of the case there, and the website on the handle. Okay, so unzipping the box. As you can see, it's all got a nice foam interior, everything has its own place, which is nice, I like to see that. In the top pouch, you have a zip area, which contains, oh right, okay. It comes with a couple of sticky pads for a GoPro and a USB, some of the framework and a USB cable, which I'm guessing is for updating any firmware that's required for the gimbal. Also comes with a set of instructions. Comes with a warranty card and a small Allen key, couple of screws, and the usual GoPro screw mount. In the main pouch, you have obviously the gimbal itself. You have a battery holder, which I'm guessing is going to be used to recharge the batteries. You get some small batteries and a spare set, which is good. I like that it comes with 2 sets of batteries. These are quite unique looking batteries. I don't think I've ever come across this size before. And it comes with 2 little GoPro mounts as well. At the bottom of the gimbal you have a thread which you can use to fix to a tripod. I'm not quite sure, the size might be a 1/4 inch. And you also have the same threaded mount on the base as well, so you can have it facing that way or facing, that way. Also, along with the threaded mounts I mentioned earlier, there's 2 small holes each side which you can fix the GoPro mount to the base and use the screws that come with it to tighten that in. So you can actually have it on a GoPro pole. You can also fix it to anything that has a GoPro mount, so it almost becomes usable on any kind of GoPro fixture you can think of, whether it's a head mount, you know, chest mount, you can have it wherever you want. So the first thing you're going to need is the framework for the GoPro. Now this will effectively fix into here. I happen to have here with me a GoPro Session, and I'm not sure whether you have to fix this before or whether you can fix it into the mount afterwards. I'm guessing it has to be done before. So the first thing you need to do is take the GoPro out of its mount, like so. So you're just left with the GoPro itself. and then we'll fix this. So the GoPro is now in, and as you can see it's all a bit floppy and stuff, and it all looks pretty good. So what you do is hold the white button, and as you can see it works lovely. It works on the vertical axis, no problem. Watch what happens when you double press the white button. The GoPro moves down. So you can now fix it to a horizontal axis, and again you still have the excellent features of the gimbal itself. If you press it 3 times, the camera inverts, so you can actually have it on something upside down. And again you have all the benefits of the gimbal working. And 4 taps of the white button resets it back to the original position. So that's now on the vertical axis. So all in all, I think this is a rather good bit of kit. I mentioned earlier why I decided on the Session version and not the regular GoPro, and that was 2 reasons. Firstly, the GoPro Session is a lot smaller and lighter, so therefore the whole mount will be easier to carry. Secondly, the GoPro Session is waterproof as it is, meaning if I get any snow on it, it's not going to damage the camera. Now the only problem with the other gimbal is that although it fits the regular size GoPros, it doesn't fit the GoPro with its protective housing on, which means you have to use it without it, and that might be fine for some. But for where I'm going, where it will be snowy, there's potential that the camera could potentially get damaged. In the water, the moisture might get in, it could affect the camera. So I've gone for the Session for the lighter and protective, waterproof protection reasons. Another thing to consider is, although I got this because of the waterproof of the GoPro, it doesn't mean to say that the gimbal itself is waterproof. I don't believe that it is. All the electronics are actually encased in this plastic, and it seems pretty good, but I'm not going to say for sure whether it's waterproof. So I still have to take extra care when using this out on the snow, but at least the camera itself will be protected, and also the gimbal is much cheaper to replace than it would be to buy another GoPro. So it's time to do the field test and run it side by side with and without the gimbal. Well, so far it's holding out really well. I'm walking quite briskly, quite heavy-footed, to try and create a bounce in my walk. A word of warning though, always make sure that the screws holding in the GoPro are tight as they can possibly be. The reason for that is before I started this test shot, I noticed that afterwards one of the screws had come loose, and it creates this vibration sound that sounds like something's wrong with the gimbal. So if you get that problem where all the motors are making a lot of noise, just double check that the gimbal framework for the GoPro is actually physically locked as much as you can. And if it's not, tighten it up, and that should solve your problem. And now let's find out what the GoPro looks like without the gimbal. I'm not trying to keep it steady, I'm just walking, well, my arm's obviously stretched out so I can feel myself, but otherwise I'm walking quite heavy and quite briskly as before. So that was the test. Hopefully there's a big difference between this version, the non-stabilized version, and the other with the gimbal. I haven't seen the footage back yet, I'm really excited to see it. And I'm pretty sure that this gimbal is one of the best buys I've had
for quite a long time, probably since I bought a drone. All that's left to say is, back to me in the edit.
So I hope you enjoyed the unboxing video of the 3-axis gimbal from Feiyu Tech, and hopefully you guys will be able to make an informed decision as to whether you want to buy this piece of gear or not. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.